Hey folks, welcome back to our Dice Tower preview. I'm Mark, and today we're taking a look at Techlandia. Techlandia is brought to you by 11231 Games. It's for 1 to 4 players, ages 13 and up, and games range anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes. Techlandia is a company poised on the edge of becoming the most powerful tech company in the entire world. However, there's something fishy going on at Techlandia. People go missing, and weird storm clouds have been seen over the top of the building. All kinds of weird happenstance have been going on in this building. Some even think this company might be a cult. However, they are about to release their new phone, the TX1. Basically, one phone to rule them all. And you, as a tech blogger, really want to get in on this press conference, even though it might be fraught with dangers, maybe doom being brought upon the world. But you are going to sneak into the complex and try to discern what is going on, as well as see this press conference in action. However, the press conference is located in the bottom of the building, so you'll have to use your cunning, and you'll have to search for the specific QR codes and security codes in order to sneak into the event. So the objective here is to infiltrate this press conference and search the complex rooms 1 through 4 to find QR code fragments, and then enough security codes to give you a fighting chance to put those fragments together and get into this invite-only event. All right, quick look at setup. You have the main complex of the upper floor of the building. The purple tiles denote the standard tiles that will always be in play. You have the welcome center, you have the security room, you have the press room, and you have the elevator. Now, the 4 rooms that go around it are the 4 rooms that you must investigate as one of the prerequisites to getting the security clearance that you need. These 4 rooms, there are more tiles than there are available spots. So as you play this game, each time these 4 rooms are going to be randomized, and they're red and blue. Red being harder to infiltrate than blue, the consequences being worse as you investigate those areas. Now, you have various types of cards as well. You have the encounter deck, you have the gear deck, and the location deck. Location deck, again, is dictated by what rooms are out here in the complex. Then you have the doom track. It is a timed game after all. Every round, the doom track moves ever closer to 0. Is the world doomed, or is it just a phone release? Who knows? And then you have the enemy cards. These are the tech cultists that you'll be running into throughout the complex. And you have your player card. Your player card shows all the things that you need to do in order to gain security access. Starting with the QR codes, you need 4 of those codes. You also have decryption codes that you'll be tapping into in order to give you a fighting chance to get the right combination of QR codes. And then you have the room investigation. This is showing all the 4 rooms that you need to investigate in order as one of the prerequisites to complete your mission. And then you have objectivity. Can you, as a reporter, stay objective? Well, this is really your health, your hit points through the game. And at the bottom of the card is a skill. So you get to choose one of these per game, and these are crucial because when you're dealing with the enemies, if you match up on skills, that'll give you a fighting chance and give you a re-roll option. And some of the other pieces around the table, you have the tokens, which are your QR code fragments. They'll be placed in rooms at certain times. You have dice, you have cubes to help you track your progress on your player board. You have the lore cards, which get triggered at certain points along the doom track when you hit the red numbers. And you have your QR code cards. These are the cards that you're going to be pulling and actually scanning with your real phone, hoping that you trigger the right security code and get to the event. To start, you're going to put your character, your standee, in the Welcome Center. Now, each of these characters have some fun bios with them. It's worth reading, it's pretty fun. And actually, the whole rule book has a thematic nature as you're learning the rules. It actually tells the story really well. Each character also starts, each player starts with 5 gear cards, and you also get to roll a dice to see maybe you get more gear cards. You're gonna roll a dice, and if you get a 5 or 6, then you get an extra gear card. And if you roll a 2 through 4, you get to change out 2 of the cards and get 2 new ones. Now, if you roll a 1, you just have to settle for what you have. But the thing about these gear cards is that they're really, really powerful. They actually are. You get rerolls in there. You can remove enemies from the board. There's lots of things that these cards can do and really help you throughout the game. So on your turn, you can perform 2 actions, and there's several to tap into, but each of these requires 1 action point. So moving is 1. You can move to any of the adjacent hexes, but you're looking to scan or investigate the red and blue rooms. So if you move in the server room, you can investigate the server room, and that's another action point. But what you're going to do here is you're going to roll a dice, and every even number is a success. Every odd number is a failure. So when you do succeed, then you're going to draw 2 cards from the location deck, and you're going to place off the first card a QR code sample somewhere, wherever it calls for. It could be anywhere in this top floor. The second card is going to place one of the minions out on the tech cultists out on the board. So, and those guys are particularly nasty, and you have to deal with them. Now, in a failed roll for investigate, if you're in a blue room, you draw an event card. Lots of bad things in that event deck. However, there's some good. And if you're in a red room, it's a high security room, so the stakes are much higher. When you fail, you draw an event card again. You're going to lose a gear card from your hand, and you actually end your turn right then. So that's when these gear cards potentially come into play, can really help you out by automatic successes when you're investigating, or potentially re-rolls, things of that nature. Another possible action is picking up a QR code fragment from a room that you're in or you've moved to, and then you'll mark it on your player board. Then you might be engaging in battle. And when you're fighting one of these guys, you're going to pull an enemy card. Up in the top right corner is their combat value. You have to meet it or beat it to defeat them. If you do defeat them, you're going to collect a decryption code and mark it on your player board. You can have a maximum of 3 of these, and you'll remove the enemy from the board. However, if you're defeated, then you're going to take a hit to your objectivity, and you'll mark that on your board as well, and you'll move back to the welcome center. So if you're in the press room, you can perform the action of getting another gear card. You can only do this once on your turn though. Also, you might be ready to get your QR code scanned, and if you're in the security room, you can perform this action, but however many decryption codes will determine how many cards you get to pull and try to get past security. And you're really hoping to find the right card in this deck of QR codes. And you really do take your phone out and scan it and go off to the website to show if you've scanned the appropriate card. If you have, then you'll move on to the elevator and you'll get out. But of course, you have to have met all the prerequisites. You will have to have scanned 4 rooms, all 4 of the different rooms. You have to collect 4 QR code fragments, and you need at least 1 decryption code in order to try this. But the more decryption codes you have, the better chance you have to winning the game. Now, a couple of things worth mentioning. Again, as you're moving through this doom clock, after every round, this will move ever closer to 0. And as you do, as you hit each of those red numbers, you're going to flip over these lower cards, and they're going to trigger all kinds of things, but really this encounter deck is going to come into play quite often. Again, it's mostly bad, but there's not all bad. So those are things to be aware of. And if you hit 3 in your objectivity, which is really your health, then you become a fanboy. You're actually one of the cultists temporarily. You're running around causing havoc for the other players, but you're not really dangerous. You're just a fanboy. You're just there to be annoying and cost them an action. So you'll run into a room and just kind of get in their face and really just annoy them. But when that happens, you will lose your player card temporarily, and you'll have to discard all your gear. But once you hit another red number on the doom track, then you come back into the game and you're ready to jump back into the fray. So the first player to meet all the requirements will move on to security and hopefully bypass security, moving to the event. Again, the things you need are 4 QR code fragments. You need to have investigated the 4 rooms, and you'll need at least 1 decryption code in order to try and go after those QR codes. Again, using your real phone to scan those. It's just a fun element in the game. However, you don't need to do that. There's a low-tech version, and there's also a solo version and a way to play cooperatively in this game. So it does have all those things as well. But again, the first person to make it to the press conference is going to be declared the winner. All right, folks, just a reminder once again, this has been a Dice Tower paid preview, and everything you've seen here has been in prototype form. So keep a close eye on the campaign for any changes that still may occur. Now, I really liked the thematic, story-driven nature of this game. It doesn't seem like it would be such, but I really liked that thematic nature of it. However, if this looks like a game that would be of interest to you, I'm sure they'd appreciate your support. So I think that's it for me, and until next time, we'll see you at the table.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.